Happy Monday to you. This is the John McEntyre Show live. I'm John McEntyre. Today is Monday, March the 10th, 2025. It's definitely, well, let me say it like this 2025 is definitely moving along. Hopefully, you're still on track with with your financial goals and all that good stuff. Um, we have a good show today. I'm going to share some wallet wins. Like I said, I'm going to get back to sharing those wallet wins individually. And I also want to cover something that's very important that happened while I was working with a client. Well, it was like a side note for a client. Well, it was client and their aging parent. That's what we was working with, and so this is very, very important pertaining to documents and everything. So hopefully you all had a good weekend, safe and fun with family and friends. Yesterday was a little bit of a sort of a sad like day for me. I was actually um, the ninth was night 2019 March 9th. My mom passed away from she had Alzheimer's, and so yesterday was a little bit slow for me. But I think about I still miss her. Think about I laugh about things we used to laugh about. It just you know just sort of think about it and keep on my mind. She's on my mind every day, but that day is a little bit harder than normal, and so. But overall, in all, it was a good weekend. So hopefully you had a great weekend. All right, let's get into this. Let's share these wallet wins today. Because no, let's celebrate the wallet wins. It's what I like to do. I celebrate them. Uh, I'm a single mom, and I opened a high yield savings account for myself and my high school daughter who just got her first part time job. Oh, yes, that's definitely a wallet win. And I celebrate the fact of not only you opening a high yield savings account, but starting your daughter who's just beginning to earn money and entering into the workforce. She's starting off on the right path. Because most of us, we had to correct. We had to do a lot of correction on paths and everything, and so um, as there's an old saying that it's easier to um, to raise a solid child than to correct one, than to fix one. And so just getting them started off on the right path is that's one less thing they will have to correct later on in life. And just making them mindful, keeping them mindful of their finances and making those solid decisions will definitely pay off, especially with them starting early there. Number two here, wallet win number two. I'm in my fourth month following my budget, and it really feels good knowing that I am in control of my money. Yes, fourth month, everything should be smoothed out. Like I say, when you're starting to budget, you've never done it before, and it's something new. It's a new habit, and for a habit, you have to stick with it for it to become a habit. Because every habit that we have is just something we repeated over and over until it became easy. And so, like I said, with the following a budget, that first month is the budget is almost like the budget is fighting you. You're fighting it, and it's fighting back. The money is just money. It's just sitting there, and you and that budget there you're arguing because there's things you used to do you may have to stop doing to really make your money matter and count and do the things that you intentionally want to do. And so you're battling. Second month, still a struggle, but then you're beginning to see what you may need to tweak, things like that. Third month, you should really see the results and making things happen. By the fourth month, you should be fully convinced that a budget is the best way to go when it comes to handling your money. That it is, the main one of the main actions you will take on that path to financial health and wellness and security and wealth. So I applaud you. I celebrate this wallet winner with that fourth month following the budget, and they've tied a good feeling because normally that's also what makes a habit stick. When you tie a positive feeling to it, or it feels good. Sometimes it may not be a positive feeling; it may just feel good. Like For instance, I like to use fitness a lot because that's an area that I focused on. Like one time I got very intentionally focused, and it's just paying off now. But in the beginning, eating, eating for me was definitely something. Light is getting very bright in here. Hopefully we can get it fixed. Hopefully it'll fix itself. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. But what I was talking about fitness, and it was eating for me, and getting in the habit of, someone told me to track what I'm eating and really watch it and everything. And so I was like, yeah. And they said, now it's gonna be about 3 months. I was like, okay. And so that first month we were not working. I just didn't want to do it. Then second month I got okay because I started to see results, what I was really trying to accomplish. By the third month, the results, they started rolling in, and by fourth month on, now I basically know what to do. If I gain a pound, I know exactly what to do to knock that pound back off, and it's because of the habits that I have. They're ingrained in me. It's almost like I don't really have to think about it. It's like I have a set point. If something happens with my weight and it gets at a certain number, I automatically just kick in and knock the weight right back off. And that's the way it is with following a budget. Following a spending plan. It's a good feeling to know that you've taken control of your finances. And so once it becomes a habit, like all wealthy people, they follow a budget. It's just something that they don't walk around talking about because it's just how they are now. It's just part of their financial management. Something starts to happen, they know exactly what to do. They know exactly, tweak the budget, do whatever, and make things happen. So yes, I celebrate that fourth month following a budget. Wallet win number three. I've been self-employed for 3 years, and I finally opened a SEP IRA. SEP IRA. That's an IRA for self-employed people and small business owners. Um, they can make tax deductible, tax deferred contributions, um, and contribute to their individual retirement account. That's basically what it is. It's an IRA. It's another form. I haven't really talked about it much because the other two was just what most people requested information, me cover, and everything, which is the Roth and the traditional IRA. Well, the SEP IRA is called SEP IRA. It's for self-employed individuals and small business owners, because there's a magic number when it comes to taxes and IRAs, investment accounts, things like that for businesses. And this one is geared for small businesses. I'll definitely do a show, going more in depth on it now that it's been mentioned. I know it's important. There's a lot of people out there that have businesses, and I've come across quite a few have their own businesses, but they didn't have any retirement set aside for themselves. They didn't have a retirement account. So, SEP IRA is one of them that has been recommended quite a bit there. All right, so we have three wallet wins to celebrate today. And if you have a wallet win to celebrate, don't forget to put in that hashtag wallet win. I see it. We'll celebrate it. And also, we have questions. Give me that uppercase Q or capital Q, whichever way you say it. Give me the Q. I see the question. I will answer because this is live. I have to remind some people that it's live. A lot of people, they come back later and watch, and a lot of them, they some odd reason they just don't register that I'm doing it live, and I pretty much do a daily live talking about finances. And so if you do have those questions, put them in the chat box or contact me. Or if you're not watching live or whatever, but you do have a question, our contact information is on the screen there. Contact us. We'll make sure and have the question on because that's where I get most of my questions anyway. All right, so let's get into this. I've done a show plenty of times about identity theft, um, and I've done shows on how long you should keep documents, things like that. because mainly that's where a lot of identity theft happens, especially when it comes to the aging population. Someone gives a hold to some documents, and it has that important information on there. And before you know it, before they catch it, especially with the Asian population, before they catch it, a lot of damage has been done. And so today, I want to share how I was, working with someone, as I said early, client and their parent. Um, One thing, we were doing our what's called organizing, excuse me, getting organized, and I noticed with the parent a lot of unopened documents, a lot of unopened mail, um, that that my client did not know about. And so she's also in the process of getting her finances in order, so that she was pretty much new also. She had her own share of that. Was one of the things she kind of had a little bit of a problem with opening mail, like keeping up with it and opening it. And so this was something I was working with both of them. And one of the things I noticed, that there was a lot of old documents just lying around, unopened mail, but also the ones that had been opened, it wasn't organized, and it was just opened, stacks of papers and documents, canceled checks, things like that, that has a lot of important information. And so I wanted to make sure and just cover some of the most important ones that I saw with them, that should be, handled properly and destroyed properly. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to go over a few of them here, and then my recommendation on how to actually destroy them, because most people just they will take these documents and throw them in the garbage. That's not the best way to do it, because that means your information is out there now. It's at some landfill or wherever, since some trash can, something happens and someone get their hands on your information, and there you go. um, One I saw that, with this particular, client and their aging parent, was their expired IDs. It was an expired IDs, um, and an unused credit card. Now, I mean, you can just imagine. I know most people. I don't know if any of you out there. I know I have. It is one of the biggest feelings of feeling helpless is when you've lost your wallet. And the main reason is because maybe it's some cash in there, maybe not, but it's all your entire life is in your wallet. Your or if you're a female, your purse, or whatever you carry, your credit cards or debit cards, your driver's license, your other IDs, your insurance card, all of this is in that wallet. And when it happened to me, I mean, I felt myself going into panic mode. Just so happened, came to myself, Andrea and I, we were both, we was talking, and Andrea, she was like, okay, we're going to make all of the phone calls and, let everyone know what has happened, the banks and everything. And so that, I mean, I don't care who it happens to. It can happen to the wealthiest of people. They lose their IDs or whatever, wallet to the public, they're going to almost panic. And so this particular situation, no, it wasn't out there lost or whatever, but it was exposed. So someone comes into the house, maybe a service provider, something like that, see the information, and they're not the most honest person in the world when it comes to things like that. There you go. Your information could be stolen. And especially with expired IDs, because that's how your identity can be stolen, or unused credit cards. They can like max out your credit card and you not know about it. Yeah, you may not know about it for a while, until maybe you have credit pulled, or the credit card company contacts you and say, hey, you haven't made a payment on this credit, and you need to make a payment quickly, or we're going to cancel the credit card, and you not know about it. So that's why that one's important. Those expired IDs. I mentioned it. The driver's license is important, but a lot of times what I did see here, it was old, because the parent did have their driver's license, but they still had their renewal receipt. Because when you renew your driver's license, especially through the online, you get your receipt printed out. That's your driver's license until your card, until you receive your real driver's license. So that's the same thing. It's the same information. And I was like, okay, we need to destroy this, because that you could take that, if you go to a store or you go anywhere, that is your ID. That is a form of ID. It can be used. Um, and you do not want that out there like your driver's license. Number three, I'm going to end it with this one. Cancel checks and bank statements. There were canceled checks, because aging parents still write checks, things like that. Or and or some people, they'll do cancel checks or whatever, and bank statements. All of your financial information is there exposed. And so, you do I need to say more about why you need to make sure and destroy the canceled checks and old bank statements? Because most stuff is online or whatever, or at the least, if you do want to keep it, put it in a folder, and it needs to be in a fireproof cabinet, or some type of a safe, or something that would protect these documents. Personally, bank statement is over. If it's I've kept them for like a year. I think I maybe overdo it, but that's just me. Once you go into the next statement period, it's online. The bank has information. It's time to get rid of it. I keep mine in a folder, and then I do a purge, and I purge them. Now, I mentioned those documents, some of the important ones. There's quite a few others. There's insurance documents. Maybe pet insurance. A lot of people, they have pet insurance, and you want to make sure these documents are protected, and if they're no longer in use, to be destroyed properly. Because with this particular client, her parent, they were like, well, the mom, she was like, okay, I do throw them away. I throw them away. I rip them up and throw them in the trash. I said, that's really not enough when it comes to destroying these. One or two things need to happen. You need to shred them or burn them. One of the two. And I know you're probably thinking, what, burning? I live in, I'm from a rural town in North Carolina. Just about every house had a fireplace, and that's normally what would happen. People, when they would stand by the fireplace, look through the documents, they didn't need it. It went to the fire, and it was, it became ashes. Um, my brother and I, we would do like burnings, cleaning off land, clearing land, things like that. Um, Buying real estate together, things, and clearing the land. We would always have these burnings. You had to have a permit from the county to actually do, to burn. Make sure if it was too dry, you couldn't burn or whatever. But that was also one of the days, and I actually learned that from my brother. I remember the first time I saw him do it. He came with a big trash bag, and I'm like, "What's in there?" He said, "Oh, these are documents. I gotta get rid of these, and this is the most effective way to get rid of them, throwing them into the fire." We kept the fire real hot, burning, made sure the documents were separated, kept the little rake thing, making sure we was raking them, and to make sure they completely burned and everything, and became ashes. And I was like, yes, that is the most complete way to destroy a document, is to burn it. Because we all know also, with all of these fires that have happened here recently, especially here in North Carolina, there was a big fire. A lot of people, it happened the opposite way, where in the worst way, where they lost documents in a fire. And that's why I say burning them is one of the most effective ways to get rid of them. Because just hearing people saying, yes, I lost everything in this fire. Okay, intentionally burn them, there you go, they're gone. Or if you don't have access, or you don't want to play with fire or whatever, shred them. Just shred them. I know our shredder, we have we have a pretty robust shredder. It'll shred a lot of documents at one time, but it also has the little slot for credit cards and old driver license, things like that, or whatever, anything plastic. It has a slot for that. And so ours, we take care of it. A lot of times I've seen in our area, especially in Charlotte, over 20 years I've been dealing with that. I remember the first time when I first moved to Charlotte, I met a gentleman that he was the first ones I knew that owned his own shredding truck. He would lease it out to buildings in downtown Charlotte, back it up, and that day everyone in the building, well, for that week, he would leave it there for the week. Everyone in the building, they would let everyone know, hey, bring your documents down, have them shredded free. You don't have to travel, just bring them down on the elevator or put them out, and maintenance, they would take care of it. Me personally, I was like, no, I'm going to shred my own documents. And then at the condominium complex I lived at, we actually, the guy, he brought the truck over there, and everyone in the complex there, they brought their documents and shredded them, and credit cards and everything. And so that was very reassuring, knowing that they were completely destroyed, to stand there and watch them being shredded. So the takeaway is, make sure with those important documents that you destroy them properly. Don't just throw them. Don't just stand over the trash can and say, hey, this is, a solicitation or whatever. If it has some of your personal information on there, it should be shredded, not just ripped up. Or if you're one of those types that will sit there with scissors and make sure it's like totally destroyed and separated and everything, have at it. I have other things to do with my time, so the shredder works for me, or burning. If I have a chance to, or someone I know is doing some burning, I actually take the documents there and burn and everything. So take that as a suggestion. Go through those old documents. I've done a video. Go back in the history of the videos, especially on YouTube, and watch the videos where I talked about how long you should keep certain documents. And if you've held them long enough, shred them, have them shredded or burned or whatever. But make sure they're thoroughly destroyed. So, that being said, I hope the information was beneficial to you. Hopefully you learned something. Don't forget to send in those wallet wins. Don't forget to share those questions and comments. And I will be back tomorrow on another episode of the John McEntyre Money Show Live. Until then, we'll talk.